I'm not gonna listen.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Heron Heads podcast, your first stop for all things Inter Miami. We are kicking off the 2025 competitive season with Inter Miami, and we kick it off with a victory against Sporting Kansas City in the first leg of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Messi with the only goal of the match, getting off right where he left off, really. But before we jump into the match, real quick, thank you to our chief Heron Heads, Chow and Mari V, and thank you for your continued generous support. You will find a link to Patreon, to our Discord server, and to our merch shop in the description wherever you are listening if you guys are interested in that. But I am super excited to get into this match. I think there was a lot of stuff to take away from it. It was Javier Mascherano's first competitive match with Inter Miami. A lot of new signings had playtime, so how are you guys doing? How are you guys feeling after that match that just finished maybe 15 minutes ago?
I feel great. I mean, it's been a while since we've actually had a meaningful soccer match. I know we've had a bunch of friendlies that were very, very difficult for the layperson to get on the big screen. So it was nice to actually just be able to turn on the TV, find a channel, and then find the best player in the world who is donning our club's colors. And yeah, it's fantastic to see Messi go out there and shut up all the naysayers who said he can't do it in the cold and what is it, cold rainy night in Stoke. And well, it wasn't raining, but it was almost sub-zero out there. So we'll definitely take that, and not only playing the entire match, but finding the only goal of the match as well. Yeah, it was great to see. There's a lot of positives. You can say all the debut players played decent. We had a clean sheet with Ustadi at net. I mean, there's just a lot of positive, and there's definitely room for improvement. So overall, you got to applaud Mascherano on his debut match.
Yeah, I mean, Messi wasn't supposed to play tonight, according to people. Messi didn't like the cold. Messi this, Messi that. He's proven everyone wrong time and time again. Before it was a turf situation. The rain, it's too hot, it's too cold, it doesn't matter. Messi's gonna go play, Messi's gonna score, and Messi's the GOAT at the end of the day, and he just proved it tonight. He pretty much shut everybody up, because the chatter was before that he just wasn't fit for it, that he didn't like the cold weather and all this stuff. And he was out there and he played well. We saw a great passing up front, really, from all of our attackers. It looked good pretty much all match. Our defense looked decent out there. You know, Sporting Kansas City, I wouldn't say is a world beater, but they do have Jovalic that they just got from LA Galaxy, who is a very, very strong attacker, and they shut him down. So our defense looked good today. Noah Allen looked pretty decent at left back. I can't complain about him. He did very well. He held his own without Alba out there, so I'm very happy about that. You know, but there's not too many negatives that I saw tonight. You know, I wanted to see a little more from Telasco, and we didn't. Maybe he's still too fresh. You know, Allende looked really good. He's had a few matches under his belt with Miami already. But overall, I think it was a really, really good match. Suarez we'll talk about it a little bit, but Suarez had a really nice chance there, a rocket. He missed slightly. But overall, it was good. I cannot complain with tonight's match. It was pretty fun from start to finish, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things when you're looking at a team where, you know, we're kind of getting rid of one of our better players from last year, Gomez. We kind of don't know what to expect from a lot of these, George Garriga. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it's we kind of didn't really know how the team would gel, especially in a new formation. I think they went with the 4-4-1-1, but at least that's what it comes out to in on SofaScore. But it's it felt very spaced out. The whole team just looked very 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 open, and we felt like we really did have a lot of trouble with passing the ball around. You know, it didn't seem like a very stressful environment at all. There weren't a lot of fans in the stands. I saw earlier this week that they were selling tickets for $20 to see Messi. I mean, I
Who
don't
really
care if
wants
it's
to be out of there?
15. You got to figure it out, man. You know, your team's in the cup. You gotta show out. That was a pathetic showing by Kansas City fans. So yeah, pretty sad. Pretty sad to watch your team just get wrecked like that. Because honestly, it was 1-0, but it felt very lopsided, right? Like, did you guys feel the same thing that I felt?
It definitely felt like Miami controlled 80 minutes of that match, and Kansas City was sort of just trying to hold the score to manageable for the second leg in more favorable conditions. I don't think they really wanted any part of tonight's game. It felt like they were just trying to catch us on the counter. But to Chris's point, the defense, it played well. Like Lujan and Toto were pretty solid. Lujan was tested on a couple runs that he showed his ability to at least keep pace with speedier attackers. I think he went one-on-one against Chaloy, and he did a good job. Chelo got beat a couple times, but made up ground and caught up. And honestly, I think Chelo had a really good defensive game. And I do wonder if Allende's presence, who Allende I thought was great tonight, I think Allende's presence might deter Chelo a little bit from having to go up and do more, because Messi's now a little bit more tucked in and inside, and Chelo doesn't have to overcompensate for Messi cutting in and leaving that space unoccupied. Allende being there gives Chelo sort of an outlet, and he had a couple overlapping runs, but generally speaking, he just stuck to playing defense and getting involved in little spots. And I thought it was for the overall benefit of the team.
It's just another year for Tata's group to really gel, right? And get together just how Tata envisioned. Wait a minute, no, Tata's not here anymore. This is Mascherano's club. Yeah, so no, exactly. It's you have a club that actually makes sense. You have pieces that complement each other. And this isn't even the full assortment of players that we're gonna have at our disposal. Alba was suspended for this match, so we did see Noah Allen get basically the run of the whole match out there, and Noah Allen again was defensively. I think he's turned that corner where he is a really good player off the bench if you need him in a pinch. So in this case, we don't have Jordi Alba in there. You can put him in there for a match, a spot duty, and it's not the end of the world. He's not going to bring in attack what Jordi brings at all. He doesn't have that component to his game. But defensively, the effort is there, and that does make up for the lack of height, because you do see it in jump ball situations and things like that where he tries and you give it to him for that. But he is feisty, he's scrappy, he's running the whole way from one end of the pitch to the other. You can't today. I couldn't really knock anybody on anything. There's moments of lapse for all the players. Redondo had some ups and downs. Chelo early on defensively was a little spotty, but then he found form in the middle and towards the end of the game. Lujan as well. He got beat a couple times, but again, athleticism to make up for it and really catch up to the players who got by him. And as a group defensive, and then one thing that I mentioned on the Discord is Ustari has this presence about him that really doesn't evoke any panic. Like there's times when we have Calendar back there and you just see the ball floating in the air going into the attack, and you're kind of holding your breath like, I hope he doesn't botch this. And I never really had that feeling. He was in complete command. I think there was only one or two set pieces that we were faced, and again, no real fear that there was going to be anything coming from those. Granted, there were some really bad shots taken by Kansas City that they had a couple of chances that it could have really hurt us. But I mean, part of being a goalkeeper is to not give them easy goals, and he made sure not to make anything easy become difficult for us.
And I was on just a point on Chelo. I think you got to give credit to Mascherano. I think this style or this formation or his tactics really suit him better. I think Tata's tactics, we all knew that the winger or the fullbacks really fly up a lot. We're used to Alba just flying up, being in the attack a lot. we really didn't see a lot of that in Cello, and I don't think that's part of Mascherano's game plan right now. Maybe with Alba, real competition, he'll use him a little differently. But Cello seemed to kind of stay back, play defense, help out a little bit, facilitating in the midfield as well. But we didn't see him flying up the right wing or flying into the middle of the pitch or anything like that, or any of the crazy things that we're used to seeing from him. And I think that helps him kind of just stay back, keep composed. Yes, like you said, I think Julio said he got burned a few times, or David said it, burned a few times. He did catch up. He was able to make up ground. So that's why I think he played very solid. And I think you got to give Mascherano credit for that, because it is a different style of play for him. So kudos to him, man. And like one of you said, Allende helps a lot there too. Allende, like George Garriga said, Allende is sticky. Allende, he holds onto the ball very well. He makes solid passes. I don't think he turned the ball over too much. One of our viewers or one of our fans said he does, and he didn't like the way he played, but I think we all disagree on that, right, guys? It was really solid the way he played, I believe. And it also helps Cello in a way as well.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because that has brought us to the least of the match.
Oh,
man. Least of the match is brought to you by nobody sponsors us. But it's funny because least of the match for us was, we have two players that I felt like are pretty comparable that we should speak about. Who are your guys' least of the match?
I guess Segovia.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd say Lujan.
Okay.
I would say
maybe Suarez.
I was gonna say Segovia too, but just to be different, I'll do Redondo.
No, so Segovia was 6.7, so yes, but the least of the match was actually Allende.
Interesting.
And he had a 6.6 match rating, 6.7 for Segovia. What stood out for me for Segovia was, well, for Allende, was that he actually did have a lot of turnovers. He had 22. And his worst issue was his accuracy in passing. Now, we all know what we had at that position last year, right? So it's important context where we're like, okay, has he given us a leg up on the right wing side? Yes, I think so. Right, I do think so, because it was not something that we were really utilizing. We're using Cello, which is not his game. We know this. So we really didn't have a presence at right wing, and I think that he helps us a lot today. He out of nowhere, we're having a presence on the right wing, pushing the ball up the pitch. Right, that was where I felt like we were pushing him more than ever on the right wing, and that's where we had the most.
The right in general is being played a lot. You know that,
and that never happened last year.
Cello to Allende, that whole little right piece was being played a lot, which at
first
made me uncomfortable, but
that never happened last year. You know what I'm saying? So it's something that I noticed that this year, we're like, okay, we lost Gomez. I don't know, guys. I don't think in this new bunch, I don't know if we're gonna have a Gomez. I just from early one day preseason matches, just looking at it, I think Gomez was special for us. Maybe we can develop, but I don't know. I think that that was a really good find, and that's not taking away from the other guys. I just think they're gonna bring a different game. You know, so what we're gonna get from Allende, maybe from Segovia. I don't know. I didn't like his game too much today, but one thing's for sure, they're gonna bring it on offense, which we haven't really had from wingers.
And I'd be careful to start comparing Gomez yet to anyone, because remember, we didn't care for Gomez the first, basically the first half that he was here. You know, we saw him do some stuff, and then he just kind of break apart. We say he wasn't a scorer and this and that. So it's game one. I'd hold back on anything yet. You know, we have some good young guys with some good pedigree coming in. So I think it's still too early.
And Segovia hasn't really been with the club very long either, so you kind of have to cut him a little bit of slack there. But as far as Allende with the turnovers and things and playing on that side so much in this match, remember they're playing without Alba, so probably by design they're trying to keep the ball on that side of the pitch a little bit for ball control purposes, just to give Noah Allen a little space to work with, and that's why a lot of times you would find Noah Allen by himself open for a big cross, and
he wanted it.
Nothing really generated from those touches that came off of him on that side. But that's why they're cramming the other side of the ball, because there was more talent on that side of the ball offensively. So it makes sense that they can key in on Allende a little bit more. When Alba comes back, I expect him to have a little more room to work with, and probably those turnover numbers will go down as well.
And Julio, you mentioned Suarez. He was the third worst. I just looked at the stats too.
Yeah, just really quick on Allende, and
Come on.
he wasn't great. Just on Allende and that right side, there's a lot of size on that side because Redondo, I thought, played to his size today. I felt like he was bossing the game a lot, really used his body well to like box out people and gain control of a lot of possession. A lot of turnovers, interceptions that he had. I thought he had one of his better games in recent memory, and I hope it's a sign of things to come because it felt like he commanded that area of the pitch really well and effectively, and we've been sort of waiting for this emergence from Redondo. So hopefully it's again a sign of things to come, and if he and Allende can be like a force on that right side that really lock it down. The other option for other teams is to go down the other side where it's going to be Alba and maybe Fafa or maybe Robert Taylor like we saw late in the match to Jose's chagrin.
It was cold today. They needed to put somebody in that can deal with the elements.
Exactly. But I think the size of that right side is going to be something to look out for this season and something that I'm really excited about because we haven't really had that. So it's cool. It's cool to see something different and seeing how it can be effective, and under new management as well, it worked well tonight. And again, Kansas City didn't really press the issue that much, but it was a good first match of the season, obviously.
And which leads us to men of the match.
Obvious.
Well, I'll give you 3. Okay, Messi. No, not counting Messi. That was obvious. He had 8.2. He was man of the match.
Busquets with the assist.
Yeah.
The easy number 2. Number 2, 7.8. Now, who's number 3?
Ustadi.
Noah Allen.
Whoa, Chris with a banger. 7.4.
Chris
Noah
just
Allen.
checked the ratings.
No, I only saw the low ones. I had no idea Noah Allen. That was more of a joke, to be honest.
What a figure. So, yeah, but Noah Allen, yeah, we were talking about how good he was doing, right? And how actually, you know what, the moment was, did it feel, it's funny, we've kind of seen him just grow, you know, since last year, just how much he's grown has been kind of fun to watch.
I was thinking like, wow, Noah Allen, the improvement over 2 years. I remember 2 years ago, you were like, get that number 32 out of here. Number 32, not even a name. I
refuse to say his name.
Number 32 out of here.
I don't want to say his name.
And now he is a very serviceable player. He's undersized, obviously, for a defensive position, but he gets after it, man. And credit to him, he's put in the work, and he's carved himself a good little role in this squad.
Who else was undersized as a defender?
Oh boy,
Mascherano.
Oh my God! I didn't say Kante. I was like, here we go. This guy's gonna compare him to Kante now.
No, relax. Come on. Mascherano's showing him the way.
Woo!
Little people power, you know.
All right. Yeah. Messi's also undersized.
Yeah.
We're just gonna start saying undersized people. Miami had 59% ball possession.
Yeah,
pretty good.
It seemed like Miami was fine playing that way, and also Kansas City was also okay with us playing that way. It seemed like they sat back and were just fine with us having possession and trying to unlock their defense. For most of the game, they just sat back.
A very fun thing that I saw in the stats, which we were very critical about, Julio, just me and you mostly, Drake Callender and his lack of consistent passing. 80% for Ustadi. Did you feel more competent passing from the?
Yeah, 100%. Although the only thing that made me worry or hesitant was just the icy conditions. Like early on in the match, you saw Suarez slip completely on the pitch. Yeah. That was the only thing I was worried about, is maybe Ustadi losing his footing, and because of that, unforced error happening. And also just on Ustadi, Dave was mentioning his like command of the box. He felt big. Like he felt like such a big presence in the box, even though he's smaller than Drake Callender. He felt like he occupied way more space in the box. And I mean, I was saying for the second half of the preseason that he should be the starter, and I think he justified that selection. Drake Callender, I believe, was available for this match, but Ustadi deservedly got the start. And clean sheet, one of one.
Yep, 100%, baby. Yeah, I'm normally a calendar defender. I always have been, but Ustadi has looked really good throughout the preseason. He looked good tonight, and like Julio said, his presence. You feel his presence there when he's in the right positions at the right time. His passing, like Jose said, has been really good, and I don't have that like second guessing or that worry when he needs to make a stop. And we've seen it work. He had a one-on-one tonight as well that I think he blocked as well. It was right to him.
The shot was really bad.
The shot was right to him, but
a lot of them were really bad today.
Yeah,
that was genuinely the only one, because the other good chance was offside when they crossed it across the box, and Chelo had no idea that there was an attacker behind him.
Mm-hmm.
But even that play, Ustadi was positioned well, right on the post.
Yep.
We've come to a point where we're at the 21-minute mark, and we haven't even talked about Messi's goal.
What a goal, man! he still got it.
Yeah.
On a cold night in Kansas City, he still got it, man.
And you can tell he just didn't want to play. He was like, "This sucks." Nobody did. Who the hell who wants to play in those conditions? Honestly,
let me just score and let's get out of here.
No one. Which is why the whole like idea of Messi not wanting to play is so silly. No one wants to play in that. No one was having fun.
Right.
Everyone was wearing like the neck wraps and the masks and the leggings. No one wanted to play in those conditions.
There was frost on one of the players on the Kansas City side on the way off the pitch at the end of the match. There was frost all over his facial hair. Like, it's like, that's not fun.
But yeah, back to that goal. The Busquets pass was, perfectly placed, spot on, and Messi's first touch with the chest. Dude, the ball didn't go anywhere. It went doop, right in front of him, and let him make the perfect
and then
shot.
the touch after he chested it down, like to immediately create 3-4 yards of space between him and the defender, who was like against him. Like, he was the defensive person was right off his shoulder, and he just did that dead ball touch, and then just dropped it to his feet, jolted to the right, and all of a sudden he was in seemingly acres of space for Messi. And
let's be real, after all of that craziness, he still had to make a shot across the goal. It wasn't like he went near post or anything like that. It was
like a little dribbler. It was
with his weak foot. It was,
like,
if I'm not mistaken.
And what was that?
It was his weak foot too, right? He took it with his right.
I'm not sure. I don't remember now.
I think he did.
Yeah, I think he went right to left.
He had to take it with his right, because he was running on the right side and he was shielding the two defenders who were coming at him.
Yeah, so after doing all that craziness, he was still able to do that. It was incredible.
And it happens like that. Mm-hmm. It happens so fast. And then you see the replay and you realize how many different like little mechanics went into the actual scoring of the goal. And you're just like, how? Like, you're literally just witnessing greatness, even at this age and at this stage in his career. It's unbelievable. It seems so like innocuous when he did it, and it was like obviously just very exciting because Miami scored, they take the lead. It was pretty late in the match already, and it was Messi. And then they show the replay, and you're like, oh wait, that was actually like incredible.
Yep. Never. It's every time it happens, it's just you're still amazed. No matter how many times we've seen it. How many goals have we seen from him already? 33 in Inter Miami, I think it is.
And a fantastic pass from Busquets too.
Yeah.
Clipped it right over the defenders.
It's becoming like an everyday occurrence now, right? Just like we just watch him play. We're watching him just so effortless. It almost looks effortless for him. It kind of looks like for us, it's like, yeah,
spoiled.
I can see how he did that now. But before we're like, whoa, I can't believe look what he just did with how quick he is on his feet. But like,
and it's crazy.
I'm gonna say not to change the pace on Messi, but like Suarez also like looked kind of like he didn't look so bad. Remember last year how his legs, I felt like, were giving up on him. I didn't feel that today. I don't know. Did you guys feel that way?
He felt more measured today. Like, he felt like he picked his spots way better today, and he chose
like he was
when to
uncomfortably
front
cold.
Foot. Yeah, that too. He looked like a giraffe on ice skates.
It looked like it hurt. Every step looked like it hurt, but he didn't look like he was holding back either, right? That's what I was trying to say.
No, like, even late in the match, it seemed like at times he would press and choose when to sort of sprint after it and put a little bit of pressure on whoever was receiving the ball for Sporting Kansas City. And he looked what I expected. Like, I don't think he looked worse than last season, Suarez, as far as his fitness and athleticism. When he got on the ball and took the shot that was just wide, that looked like
stupid.
He looked like a rhino that was charging. Like, he looked like he had force behind everything that he was doing, and it looked good. Like, it looked good, man. Like, it looked athletic and powerful. And unfortunately, that shot went wide. But yeah,
beautiful.
I think overall he looked good. Like, he didn't look super slow outside of it just looking uncomfortable, like Dave said.
Yeah, because
he didn't look like he was laboring. Because there's times like he's out there and he just looks like he's in pain the whole time, and that's not at least not the sensation I had when I watched him. Like, he didn't look like he was like wincing while he was moving or any of that stuff, which was a common theme last season.
And the other team wasn't really like bullying him or trying to bully him. Like, we saw a lot of opponents last season really trying to like dig at him or get under his skin, or, you know, just be a little bit more physical with him. But today it didn't seem like he got into a lot of those scenarios. You didn't see him complaining to the ref a lot for being like tackled or nudged off the ball a lot. It was much more measured performance. I think it's from both sides because of Kansas City's style and because of him seemingly being a little bit more smart and choosy with his moments.
I think it's also the weather. Like, these guys don't want to be bumping and roughing each other up in this type of weather. Think about it. Everything kind of hurts. Every little knock lingers a little more in this cold weather. You don't have guys really throwing themselves around, and these guys are just not used to it. In the NFL, players in this type of weather, that you see the paint just chip right off of the helmets and things like that. It does affect you differently. So I'm not surprised that our most bruising player wasn't really knocking elbows out there. And even Redondo was probably, I think, the most physical player on the pitch.
Yes.
And he normally, I think he plays how he normally plays, except the other players I don't think wanted any part of it. And that's why he kind of looked that way. Even Noah Allen was playing a little physical, and you could see him really, again, a guy of smaller stature, but because he doesn't care, he's just putting his all into it. He is able to kind of manhandle people today. And I don't know if that's going to be the case every match, but this is a great testament to a team from South Florida going into near sub-zero temperatures and really playing more cold weather ball than the other club.
Yeah, and to just another point on the cold weather, because I saw a lot of comments on Instagram, on Twitter, and all that stuff saying, "Oh, the NFL plays NFL American football." For anyone who does not know, whatever, they say, "Oh, the NFL plays in cold weather all the time and in snow and all that stuff," but the NFL plays 5-10 minutes at a time out there,
right,
and they go back to the bench with these giant heaters and these giant jackets, and they don't feel that cold as much. You're out here for 90 minutes for most of these guys.
That's crazy.
In negative Fahrenheit weather, and I mean, come on, man, you can't even compare it, come close to comparing that. So the NFL thing is moot, you know.
And this is the coldest professional sports match in Kansas City since the last time the Dolphins went to Kansas City in the playoffs. What was that, a year or two ago?
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't normal cold. This isn't normal cold weather for any sporting event.
Right.
Like, it doesn't matter where you're from. This is not a casual environment for anybody, no matter what you're used to. And soccer, I'm sorry, it's just not. It's not a game that's usually played in this type of weather. I don't care how tough you are.
Yeah, did you see Messi had hand warmers in his gloves and they had to replace them?
Remember you're like, oh, Messi's signaling to come off the pitch. I think he was signaling for the
I need warmer hand warmers.
I need
new hand warmers. It's funny because I was watching the VIX, the Spanish broadcast, and they were like, oh, he signaled to Mascherano. And then like 10, 15 minutes later, they're like, oh, but then he signaled something else. Maybe that he was okay or something. Yeah. But then they showed on the camera, they showed like a replay of him reinserting the hand warmers. I thought that was clever and also very funny and like a glimpse into the reality of playing in something like this.
Messi's usually so like he plays pretty emotionless out there for the most part.
Very stoic.
And every time that the camera like zoomed into him, because of course it's after a foul or something, he's just constantly just going. He was just trying to make eye contact with either the refs or another player. Like, what are we doing here?
and right before the second half kicked off, they showed him. He was just there like shivering. He's like, I don't want to be here. Let's get this over with. Let me score my goal and get us out of here.
Even the refs didn't want to be there. There was 0 extra time in the first half, and the second was 3 minutes. After almost
at the end of the first half, it was 1 second past the hour.
Not too many fouls though, to be honest. Like obviously there was a goal and there were substitutions, but there was 2 yellow cards, one on Kansas City, one on Redondo for Inter Miami. But
those were in the second half.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because of 3 minutes. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah. I'm saying for the whole game, like really not too many fouls generally. I mean, the amount of free kicks was very low.
These guys don't want to bump into each other.
The average of 1 yellow card per game for Toto has gone down.
He's never going to get a yellow. He's on pace to not get a single yellow card this year.
And Messi's on pace to score all of Inter Miami's goals.
Right. True. Wow. 100%.
But we're going to allow 0 for the whole season.
It's incredible.
And Calendar's never going to touch the pitch.
Oh, man.
Any other fun stats that you have for us there, Jose?
Nothing.
I
mean, I kind of threw them all out there, This is the first, this is our first game, right?
You're getting into your own form.
Yeah. Shoes isn't even here. What's up with that guy, man?
That's what the preseason is for, though, Jose. Come on.
Mike V isn't here to say Tata out, Mascherano in.
Wow. Well, he was saying last time, I think Redondo out.
They tuned in. They all tuned in yesterday. The match was supposed to be yesterday, so
yeah. So right now, we're looking at the next game is going to be against
Saturday MLS kickoff.
NYCFC.
That's correct.
Which, by the way, they changed the time from 2:30 to like 7:30.
Yeah, it's 7:30.
We're not kicking off the season anymore, unfortunately.
It's okay. They need the extra 5 hours of rest.
Yeah, to fly back. Did you guys think it was weird that they flew into Kansas City today? I thought it was very weird.
That was super odd.
Get in, get out.
I think they probably didn't want to be there longer than they had to, but at the same time, they were worried about flights and stuff. They flew in yesterday, right?
They flew in today.
They flew in like
today.
A few hours before the game.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't want to go in. I don't want longer time.
Yeah.
I want to step in and step out and never come back.
I agree. I just generally think it's a bad idea to travel to an away fixture in any sport, really, the day of, because that, like, even though it seems silly, it does mess with you.
Dave can attest to that.
Icy Fox, for those of you who are listening on Spotify or any of those, Icy Fox says it was actually due to the weather that they flew
I was talking to Jose.
So close to the.
That Dave can attest to flying in to a cold weather game and missing the game altogether.
It's a direct flight. Don't take on a cold weather day. Brutal.
Did you miss the game?
I missed the game. Yeah, the plane froze. Couldn't get off the ground.
Froze completely.
So they told us.
He's no mechanical engineer.
I was like, well, I'm going
home. So what do you guys think? Mascherano, all these new players. Does that change maybe your outlook for the entire season based off this one match?
You got to take it with a grain of salt. It is just one match in weird circumstances as well. So it's positive. It wasn't a meltdown, so that's good. But again, a lot of players haven't really gelled yet. So these are all things that trend positive. It's not going to it shouldn't get much worse than what we saw today. Not that it was bad, but if everybody has a chance to play together and hopefully we stick with Ustadi back there, get Alba involved, get another striker, because I think they're still trying to figure out a way to get a true player behind Suarez, because he can't go 88 minutes every match. As long as everybody stays healthy, we still have a bunch of guys on the bench that didn't really factor in today. We have Ian Frey who gets off the bench.
I am so happy he did not play tonight, by the way, because his ligaments in this.
Yeah, no. Ian Frey, David Martinez, Jordi Alba. It's a ton of players. David Ruiz. There's a bunch of players that still factor in. bunch of players to factor into this club. Yeah, so it's nice. It's nice to have rotation. That's something that we didn't really have much, especially towards the end of last season. So with all the different competitions that we're in, having a steady rotation of effective players is going to make a world of a difference for us.
Yeah, and I thought one of the really smart things that Mascherano did with the lineup tonight was having Fafa on the bench rather than starting. And Messi technically was our starting right winger tonight. Right winger? Left winger? I don't know. But Fafa didn't start, and he's been starting all preseason. But I thought it was very intelligent to save him as a substitute for this match because of the conditions, because of how weird this match was going to be as far as the environment. I thought that was just a smart little tactical decision that it didn't really change the dynamic of anything in the end of the game, but I thought it was very smart as like a just in case we have Fafa firecracker coming off the bench that can really change the game. I thought that was very intelligent of him.
Yeah, I think one thing we do notice is that we have a lot more space. I mentioned it earlier in the pod for Mascherano. I did notice that. We almost look like a little bit better as far as, like David had said earlier as well, that we seem to gel a little bit better. And it's just the first game, right, that we're actually like trying to get it going. But like it almost makes more sense to me the way it's constructed, whereas before it didn't. What I'm looking forward to seeing is that they left Bright off.
He supposedly suffered like a laceration on his leg or something.
Okay.
So
yeah, but because I wasn't noticing much in the preseason either, right? So I was just like, I wonder how he's going to be able to get minutes, because I'm looking at the roster and it doesn't look like it's constructed for him to play. To be 100% honest with you, it's you have Redondo in the middle, and you have Busia right next to him. And
these are guys that are not going to play the entire match. And also with all the different competitions, they're not going to play every single match. So you do have. There's an opportunity for him to play. It's just he's not going to play every night, but no one's going to play every night. So that's the beauty of it. You're going to have all these players who can still fit together and have a different rotation. One night it might be Redondo and Busquets. Another night might be Busquets and Bright and Redondo. Like you never know what combination you're going to get.
And we don't know what Segovia is going to become. Is he going to trend upwards? Is he going to trend downwards? Is he going to be a rotational piece with Bright, that sort of interchange? We have really yet to see the full potential of Segovia. So that's another spot to watch that can be in flux throughout the entire season. But yeah, to Dave's point, I think he hit the nail on the head. There's so much rotation that needs to happen throughout the course of the season because of the amount of competitions that we're in, that a lot of these players are going to get playing time.
And you know that we know who's in the attack. And that means that we can put a little more emphasis in numbers in the defensive side of the ball. So that opens it up more as well for Bright to really get involved, because if they're gonna overcommit to one side, it's gonna be to the defense, because they just know the quality of players that they have on the offensive side, that they can kind of sacrifice a little bit to be a little more cautious on defense.
Yeah, I like the formation that Mascherano's kind of going to. We saw it kind of in the preseason. And on paper tonight, it was like Jose said, 4-4-1-1, and it had Messi playing like that attacking midfielder role, which I think suits him great. Obviously, it lets Suarez kind of stay up, not have to run back and forth too much, do too much. And we saw it tonight. He was in his positions he needed to be, but we didn't see him do anything too crazy and get out of position. And I think it allows the strength of our team, which is the midfield. We have so many really, really good midfielders. I think it allows that strength to really shine. And I think we saw it tonight, Allende, yes, he played that sort of wing position, but really it's like a center mid at the end of the day. So I like that. It's different to see, because we were getting all we saw from Tata last season was the at the end of the season he was playing a 5
a 5-3-2
5-3-2. And it was fun at times, but at the same time, I don't think it was using all of our strengths to what they should be. So I think Mascherano's really trying to do that, and we're starting to see what he prefers. Because at the end of the day, we had no idea what he was going to come in doing. We never seen him.
Tata the Tinkerer, baby.
Tata Tinker.
So it's nice, man. We'll see. It's only game one. Maybe he starts changing things around, but it's nice. It's nice to see a fresh formation, a fresh set of tactics out there.
And
making
I
nice
think I
subs.
have PTSD from Tata, but whenever we turn the ball over deep when we were on offense, I was like, oh, I think there's only 2 people back. But then the camera would pan and we had like 4 or 5 people back. So I think the setup was really good, man. Like Kansas had their moments when they caught us, and that's gonna happen no matter how you play. Because no matter what, players will get sucked up to the front in the attack, and there will be always opportunities. But generally speaking, when we turn the ball over in our attacking third, there was good support defensively, which we never had with Tata.
And you don't have the worry of like Kristoff being the last man on defense as well. Like you have guys that can move, and that's another player that we added that we haven't mentioned is Maxi Falcon. Like we have such a good amount of depth, and it's all across the board except for that striker position, which is what I know they're still looking to add, but it's comfortable. It gives you some breathing room because guys are going to pick up knocks, and there are so many competitions that you do need to rotate. And for the first time in the Messi era, we actually have a rotation in the back line, which is amazing.
Yeah, we have Toto, Martinez, Lujan, and then now Maxi Falcon whenever he's ready.
Allen.
I know he traveled. Noah Allen. Yeah, we have a nice rotation.
Sailor's still there, but Sailor, I mean, hopefully we never have to see him, but
he might be the backup striker. We don't really know.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we stay away from the injury bug, because last season that really killed us in our defensive depth.
Yeah, good stuff though today. Promising.
It was. I think so. I think it gives you like a very positive outlook for the rest of the season. There was so many this week, like all the predictions for the MLS and the season awards and who's going to win the MLS Cup and the Supporter Shield, and a lot of people didn't have Inter Miami. And I don't know if that's just like the haters' guide to watching the MLS this year, but when you have Messi, I know. But as the Inter Miami podcast, we got to talk about like there is no reason why this team cannot achieve higher heights than last season.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, the way we ended last season, we didn't win at the. We didn't win what we wanted to win at the end, right? We won 1 out of 3 trophies that we wanted, right? So I'm hoping we do better than last year. Ultimately, like, yeah, we got the record for the most points in a season. We got the regular season trophy, but like ultimately, we wanted more, and I'm hoping that this year with more depth we can get there.
That's the main thing. I feel a lot of people were upset that we didn't add like a transcending player to really help put us over the top, sort of say. But I think what they've done is they maybe didn't raise the ceiling too much, but they definitely raised the floor of this club. And in doing so, that helps you not come away with so many draws and really set yourself up for more success, especially when you start getting deeper into these tournaments. So raising the floor, I think, was the smart move as opposed to just going all in for one big move.
Henry is asking who's our third DP right now. We don't have one. It's Messi and Busquets. So we have an empty DP spot right now. What we're going to do with that? Who knows? Maybe Alba wants more money. Or someone wants more money. We got to fork it up. But right now it's empty.
Tell him no. You're going to sit there. You're going to sit there and you're going to like it.
Fantastic. Well, yeah, NYCFC is next up for Inter Miami. We play on Saturday to kick off the MLS season. Should be really interesting. NYCFC, they have a good team. They have a good team. They were a playoff team last year. We always play them poorly in New York, so luckily this one's at Chase Stadium on Saturday, so it's a home opener. And yeah, we'll be live again on Saturday to recap all the action. And thank you guys for joining us on the Heron Heads podcast, your first stop for all things Inter Miami. And we will see you on Saturday. Bye.